Dr. Nweke, this is from the former Senate President Saraki, has said it, that Nigerians should add actions to their prayers. And I'm wondering what exactly is he talking about? What action does he mean here? Because if you look at the political arena, if you look at it, you realize that Christians, when I mean Christians, you know what I'm talking about, like the leaders, the pastors, and so have you, very few, a handful, are in the leadership. So when talking about adding action, what kind of action are we supposed to pray? Yes, he has acknowledged that the prayers that Nigerians are praying is actually sustaining the country, now. So what action is he expecting Christians to add? Because a lot of them might not understand what that message is all about.
Yes, I think the man is correct, because the problem of Nigeria does not only lie on the leaders. We, the followers, have our entitled roles to play to making sure that Nigeria becomes a better place. I want to give you an example. Somewhere around my neighborhood, you just see some persons carrying rubbish from their homes, households, and then dump it on the street. What is the government influence on that level of indiscipline? Do you understand? You see people behaving in manners that will contradict the social norms, acceptable social norms. So when you behave well, acceptable conduct in the society, you are contributing to the well-being of the other person. So if we now also look at it on the part of government, we see a situation where Nigeria, being a very religious country, think that everything there is prayer. Like there will be a 31st where people will write, and another human being who will stand in front, either a pastor or a man, will be telling you that you will never die. You understand? And the people will be saying amen. And you see, and I don't know whether they are talking to God or another kind of thing. How can you say you will never die? You hear people say that this year you are going to buy car, you will buy wife, you will buy, you will marry wife, sorry about that. You will buy everything that they will add to it, that your enemies will die. And people will be happy, be jubilating. So this is a nonsense. God is here, we are just disturbing God. Now, if you wake up as a normal human being, you begin to plan, right? You begin to engage your brain. And then you begin to, God is a very highly scientific God. Now, if you look at his modus operandi, the way he created man, he had to place all the other comforts before he brought man into existence. It's a very organized entity, if you look at it very well. So we should not operate as if God behaves like us. That's what the man is actually talking about. If people leave all this shout, it is well, when you know that it is not well with a place called Nigeria, they're just shouting like that. It is not well now. Now, if people will begin to come together and work, you see people sitting down at this end of year now, those leading us are not thinking for what to happen in 2024. They are doing political calculations and arithmetics.
Now, those people leading us are doing political calculation, like you've rightly stated. But do they bring the leaders from the Christendom in to sit and look at this as well? Because I believe what he's talking about is not necessarily, we know the lifestyle is there as well, but how do the Christians join in deciding what happened in Nigeria when they don't bring them in during decision making?
Are they members of any council? When you are talking about decision making, for instance, in Rivers State, there's what to call executive council now. You don't bring people on sympathy or recognition. It's a statutory meeting. Are you getting what I'm saying?
That means they'll continue doing the prayers.
No, I'm not saying that pastors or imams or whoever should not pray. But we are looking at the prayer so far. To what extent has it helped us? You see that I don't know. I'm not a man of God.
You are not.
Like, I'm not a pastor. I don't know. It's God. Pastors probably they have a way of sensing if God has answered.
He even acknowledged that the prayers has really helped Nigeria. But you know, you don't have the foresight to be able to see what is going on even when you are asleep. But let's talk about the physical. I'm talking about, you know, if you meet me and like. I don't want you to just pray. I want you to be fully involved in whatever thing you're doing in Nigeria. It means that you have to bring me in. But in a situation that I don't come in, how do I do something else apart from? Because the only thing I can do is to encourage my members.
No, the thing is that you know, when you take your time and look at some of these very big men of God, in some of these their churches, if you go to the headquarters, there is constant light. Are you getting me? And they have more than 3,000, 5,000 staff. They pay and promote on regular basis. Now, what at some point to begin to ask, can they not do collaborations with some of these churches? And they have very good schools. Can there be collaborations? Those days, the Orthodox churches used to have collaboration with government. Can we see a situation where in one aspect or more of government, these church people can come in? Can they take a charge of, say, a sub-unit of the South zone? The so and so church will take over. Or even hospitals. Can't churches run hospitals in conjunction with government? Because we heard some of these churches are very rich. So it's also a clarion call for them to extend to the society that have granted them the social license to operate in their own private businesses, right, that are taxable. You know, the ecclesiastical transactions are not taxable. Government doesn't take tax. But the schools, the businesses they run, government take tax on them. Can they extend this managerial acumen to government operations, such as education, power? I don't know if I get what I'm saying. These are the areas they can come in, not necessarily restricting it to their immediate church beneficiary. But again, if they do that, they would have also stretched the evangelical limits. They will now begin to find some more persons to preach to, that will give their life to Christ and then become members of that fold, if they begin to extend like this. Don't you think so?